Hey guys, welcome back after a long time. So it's been a while since I upload the video on the YouTube because of some reason. So in the meantime, some person asked me by saying like I register under GST because someone was saying, my friend was saying that register yourself under GST, otherwise you have to pay penalty or you have to also deal with a lot of consequences, and I register myself under GST. But later when I realized, and later when I watch your video, then I realized that I should not get registered because my turnover limit was way below the 20 lakh rupees. So what am I gonna do? How I can cancel my registration, or whether I can cancel my registration now? So that is a very great question, and that is the most that is a question of most of a guy who just registered because of the fear in the July or June time, because there was a lot of fear. Advertisement was coming daily into the newspaper like register yourself, otherwise you have to pay penalty or something like this. So those person, because of the fear, register, and now they come up with the clarity and they are saying, can I deregister or cancel my registration? Great question. So in this video we will discuss about it, and we will also discuss in case you are liable to register, okay, but now subsequently you want to deregister yourself because you are no longer liable to be registered. So how you have to register? What is the exact procedure of decancellation or cancellation of the registration? We will discuss in this video. Alright guys, so first step, first type of a person for cancellation of registration is those who voluntarily register under GST because their turnover was way below the turnover threshold limit, but they just by some means they want to voluntarily register. So under GST, those type of a guy, like legally those kind of person, the name of those kind of person is voluntarily registration. So section number 25 subsection number 3 and 29 subsection 1 clause number C deals with voluntary registration, and also Provisio to rule number 20 also deals with those kind of person who voluntarily register under GST. So let me just tell you what exactly is those provision and how to cancel, and whether you can also cancel or not. So now first one is section number 25 subsection 3. What it says? It says like a person though not liable to be registered under section 22 or 24 may get himself registered voluntarily, and all the provision of this act as are applicable to a registered person shall apply to such person. So it says like if you are not liable to register under section 22 and 24, but you voluntarily want to register, then you can register, and all the provision of this act will be applicable to you as a normal person. That thing is saying like this. And then section 29 subsection 1 clause number C deals with cancellation of registration. Let me just read that what exactly it says. So section 29 subsection 1 says like the proper officer may either on his own account, on his own motion, or an application filed by the registered person. So proper officer has the authority either on his own motion or by way of filing an application by the registered person, having regard to the circumstances where, so these are the circumstances, like in those circumstances he can cancel the registration. Let me just read what exactly are the circumstances. So like first circumstances, the business has been discontinued, transfer fully for any reason including death of a proprietor. So if you want to discontinue the business, then cancel your registration. Second reason, there is any change in the constitution of the business. Your constitution has been changed, like before you was a partnership firm, now you want to change to the company, so cancel the registration. Third one, the taxable person other than the person registered under subsection 3 of section 25 is no longer liable to be registered under section 22 or 24. This is important. Like you can cancel like the taxable person other than the person registered under subsection 3 of section 25. So what are the person under section 25 subsection number 3? Voluntary registered person. So this section is saying like other than the person who are voluntarily registered. So that kind of person who is voluntarily registered cannot cancel their registration. So that section is saying like the taxable person other than the person registered under subsection 3 of section 25. So those kind of person who are voluntarily registered cannot cancel their registration either on the filing of application or by the proper officer. So that thing is saying like you cannot cancel the registration. And proviso to rule number 20 is also saying something. It says like, provided that no application for the cancellation of registration shall be considered in case of a taxable person who has voluntarily registered before the expiry of a period of 1 year from the effective date of registration. So if you are voluntary registration, then you cannot cancel your registration within the period of expiry of 1 year from the date of effective date of registration. So like you register now, so within for 1 year you cannot cancel your registration. It means that if you voluntary registration, then you cannot cancel before the expiry of 1 year. So that is the thing what the law is saying to you. So I cannot do anything about it, sorry about that, but you cannot deregister or cancel your registration. That is a very weird thing, like you just register voluntarily and you cannot register, so deregister. So that kind of thing is there right now, so I cannot do anything about it. So I will also tell you one alternative by way of which you may cancel your registration. I will tell you about it later. So that thing is that if you volunteer registration, you cannot cancel your registration. So simply. Then second kind of person who who register and now want to cancel the registration. So how they can cancel it? What is the exact procedure? So section number 29 subsection 1 and subsection number 5, like 29 subsection 1 and 29 subsection 5, and rule 20 and 44 deals with deregistration in case you are no longer liable to be registered under section 22 or 24. So like first of all, 29 subsection number 1, what it says, like again, the proper officer may either on his own motion or an application filed the registered person cancel the registration in such manner as may be prescribed, having regard to the circumstances where, like three circumstances again. The last circumstance is important, like the taxable person is no longer liable to be registered under section 22 or 24. So if you are no longer liable to be registered under section 22 or 24, you can cancel it. Suppose how it gonna work, like you register under GST for a particular financial year because your turnover was exceeding the 20 lakh rupees, and the next financial year you are thinking like your turnover is below 20 lakh rupees, so now you want to deregister. So in that situation you can cancel your registration. So that is the thing. And now how can you deregister? Now you want to deregister yourself, so what is exactly the process? So process is in the rule number 20 and also section 29 sub rule number subsection number 5, and also you have to read out the rule number 44 for cancel the registration. So let me just first of all read rule number 20. What exactly rule number 20 says? Rule number 20 says like, a registered person seeking cancellation of his registration under subsection 1 of section 29. So if you are seeking the cancellation of registration, shall electronically submit an application in form GST REG 16. So you have to submit the application electronically in GST REG 16, and in that application or that form you have to give the detail of stock in hand, like stock, you have to give the detail of input held in stock or input contained in semi-finished or finished goods held in stock, and of the capital goods. Like you have to give the detail of stock and also give the detail of how much tax liability you have to pay and other thing. And also section number 29 subsection number 5 says also about the tax liability in case you want to cancel your registration. What it says, like every registered person whose registration is cancelled shall pay an amount. You have to pay an amount by way of debit in the electronic credit ledger or electronic cash ledger. So you have to pay by way of debiting the electronic credit ledger or by way of debiting the electronic credit ledger or electronic cash ledger, equivalent to the credit of input tax in respect of inputs held in stock and input contained in semi-finished or finished goods held in stock, or capital goods or plant or machinery on the date immediately preceding the date of such cancellation, or output tax liability on such goods whichever is higher, calculated in such manner as may be prescribed. So you have to pay an amount by way of debiting the electronic cash ledger or credit ledger. And what exactly is the amount? The amount will be higher of either the input tax credit and input tax credit in respect of input contained in stock, input contained in semi-finished or finished stock, input contained in capital goods and plant and machinery. So whichever amount will be higher, like input tax, and the other amount is the tax, the other amount which you have to pay at the time of cancellation is like output tax payable on such goods. So whatever will be the output tax payable on such goods, you have to calculate the higher amount and you have to pay that amount, and you have to calculate it on the date immediately preceding the date of such cancellation. So you want to cancel your registration like today. So whatever will be the input tax credit which is held on the date immediately preceding the date of such cancellation, like today, so whatever will be the stock of tomorrow night, so you have to calculate the input tax credit of that stock, or output tax credit, output tax liability on such goods, whichever amount will be higher you have to pay it. And for calculating those kind of input tax credit, you have to take out also rule number 44, where it cover in detail like how to calculate the input tax credit in respect of a stock in like stock held like input held in stock or input contained in finished or semi-finished product. So rule number 44 also deal with it. So if you want to cancel it, then you can check out those kind of a rule number 44, section number 29, subsection number 5, and also rule number 20. So that is the process. And one more important fact, like I said, if you have voluntary registration under GST and you want to cancel the registration, there is also one alternative. So while filing the form GST REG 16, so you have to also mention the reason why you are cancelling your registration. So in the reason, the same reason is there as mentioned in section number 29, subsection number 1, like discontinuance, closure of business, ceased to be liable to pay tax, transfer of business on account of amalgamation, demerger, etc., change in constitution of business. Same thing, like same thing is there as is mentioned in section 29, subsection 1. And one more last thing is that others. So other is also a reason. So while in case you want to cancel your registration, so you can mention like others, and in other you can say like my turnover is below 20 lakh rupees. So the proper officer may caution you like you voluntary registration, you take voluntary registration and you cannot cancel your registration within the period of 1 year. So they can send you the show cause notice, but if they will not send you the show cause notice, then it is fine. So that is the alternative which you can do, like do the alternative and just fill out the form GST REG 16. In others you can mention like turnover below 20 lakh rupees, and he may cancel your registration and you will be free of GST, no longer liable to pay tax under GST. So why those person was asking me that like they want to cancel the registration, because if you are registered under GST, your turnover is below 20 lakh rupees, you have to pay GST anyway. Like your turnover is like 5 lakh rupees. So if you are registered, you have to pay tax. You have to pay tax no matter how much amount of turnover you are making. So that's why it is important that you should cancel your registration in case you are like your turnover is below 20 lakh rupees. So that's the procedure of how to get cancelled under GST. So if you like it, then like the video, subscribe the channel and keep watching it. Alright guys, so we will meet again in our next video. Till then,